Hello everyone, welcome back to the Sharmit podcast. Today I'm joined by another special guest, José Rafael Escalante, who is joining us all the way from Venezuela. Jose is a Microsoft MVP, Power BI consultant, and a trainer with more than 8 plus years of experience in semantic modeling and enterprise analytics. So, today in this episode, we will talk about the realities of modeling, handling how to handle messy data, Power BI at scale, and also the future of analytics in the era of AI. But before we proceed further with this all discussion, I would like to thank Jose for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us a bit about yourself.
Well, I mean, thank you for having me in your podcast. For me, it's a real pleasure being here with you. I mean, this is my first podcast in English from the 2025 year, almost the finish of this year. So I'm really excited to share all the opinions or thoughts about BI and Power BI. So, well. The first question is about how I came here after 10 years from for the BI perspective. So maybe it was 10 years ago. I just wanted a new job. I was searching, trying to study a little bit more from the sales side. I knew a little bit, but seeing videos in YouTube, books from PDF formats, I realized that it will be really complex to make a profession, from the
Yeah.
sales perspective. And the Google Analytics, the Google search engine started to show me, this is business intelligence, this is Tableau, this is Equilic Sense, some softwares or vendors from this side of the things. And I don't really remember well, but I think that maybe I just saw Power BI Desktop. Right now it's still free, so I just give it a try. Give it a try.
Yeah.
Do some practices, and I fell in love with that. I think that's when I started everything.
Okay. And if we talk about particularly about the business intelligence and specifically towards the Power BI, so what do you think? Like after your graduation, was there any particular defining moment that sparked your interest to start this particular genre? How you decided that yes, this is the exact technology? You just shared about that the way, but what was there any particular
I mean,
moment?
the particular moment, I think that maybe in the past month before or after I started to study every day,
Yes.
be trying to understand the data analytics, the visualization part, the data modeling side. I think that maybe 6 months after, almost a year, I became in a case study, like I said before, from the Central Bank of Venezuela, and I came with someone who wrote me a letter from the Twitter account and said, "Hey, I like your job. Where do you live? Where are you from?" And this was my first client from the industrial PVC tubes from the engineering industry. So I mean, it was a really natural, slowly paced growth, but here I am.
You know what, Jose, like you are the perfect example to inspire the students who wanted to pursue the similar kind you are doing, because the way you have self-studied everything in the initial days to figure out like yes, this is exactly what you wanted to do. So I believe you are the perfect example to let the student know that yes, self-studies can help you to be a part of industry in order to contribute and to work as well. So that's a great
It's
journey.
like I create my own path. I mean, I really don't know where I going through all these
Yes.
acknowledgement, but every day, keep going, keep studying. Don't hesitate. Just read, just be in a video, just
Correct.
don't be ashamed of you don't know anything at the beginning, but with the open mind that you can create a profession with this. And
Correct.
also, sometimes you also you try to understand if you are going with the right path. And
Hmm.
sometimes it's not easy to understand that, to behave like I don't have a really good job right now. But if someone keeps telling you something, or you see something like a new relationship or LinkedIn person writes to you, I mean, there are some clues that you are not going so bad until
Correct.
get that door, get your first job, you know.
Correct. Yes. Okay. Jose, like we can see that you have almost spent 8 plus years building semantic models. And whenever we are talking about the semantic model, there are some misconceptions also. So, in your opinion, like what are the biggest misconceptions people have about modeling in Power BI? Do you think there are few things that can be avoidable? Any particular misconceptions?
Well, the real misconception is because the data modeling, when you read that and you don't know nothing about it,
Correct.
it's a very abstract element. So the first time, the first thing I say to the other people is there are just tables with rows and columns. That's it.
Yeah.
The
Correct.
business intelligence, the most advanced right now motors are based on tables, columns, rows, and between I mean, the tables that connected with each other with relations, physical relations or virtual relations, and that's it. The most simplistic way to see it is
Mm.
we work every day with tables. In tables has the data types, and so on. And I mean, this is the most superficial part of the concept. But the real misconception is sometimes the people think about it like the data is in that very different way that you can understand that. But if I told you, Amit, these are tables, you can understand if you're HR professional, if you're an engineer, if you're a physician, you know.
Yes.
So maybe that's the get started point. And then you can create a more complex or disaggregate techniques, what are the type of tables, what are the kind of relationship, what are the kind of methodologies of communicate with each other, so so on.
The way you have explained everything, it sounds like designing the things are bit more it's easy, but we all know that it's perfect like professional like you who know the real behind the scenes of designing the
Yeah.
models, right? Because there are lots of effort that we need to put into the process to get the better result.
Yeah, and
So
consider there are a lot of considerations you need to know. The
correct.
technical side that is most important, but the real misconception is this is
Correct.
too abstract to start it.
Yes, and I think those answer which you just shared, I'm sure like those who still hold those misconception, it will give them a clarity that yes, this is how actual thing works. So it's a great insight from your end. And if we talk about designing the semantic model, so what do you think? Like, how do you approach designing a semantic model, especially in high complexity environments, such as large corporations or large firms?
Well, right now, I mean, the AI artificial intelligence is changing everything. So
Yes.
also my kind of approach to these complex scenarios, or maybe just a little enterprise, or a little, I know maybe a bakery, or maybe some kind of a person who do a financial work from the olive in Spain, but with artificial intelligence, the right I mean that my approach right now is just to scan to detect patterns or errors, and creating a briefing that tells me what are the status, what are the architecture, what are the decisions, and this
Hmm.
the decision is really complex because the decision is a human side. You don't know why they create this kind of relationship. You try to understand, you try to focus that well, maybe in that time, or in this case,
Okay.
they need that because tomorrow that the result must be in the dashboard, you know. But that's the way the human side that the artificial intelligence doesn't came with. So right now it's more the artificial intelligence side by side with with the people, you know, and try to create a methodology or a briefing
Correct.
to understand I'm going through.
Right. And like you also worked across multiple domains like manufacturing, logistics, HR, finance, and even also in the olive farm production. So what do you think? Like, what was the most surprising insight or challenge from these diverse industries? Because you have explored almost every domain. So what do you think? Like, what are the surprising insight for you, as well as what are the surprising challenges for you throughout your journey?
Well, it's sometimes it's something very similar to the misconception about data modeling, but
Mm-hmm.
understand the business is the most important part. The logics about the result of the calculus you are going to do, sometimes is from the external side, it's very easy. Now it's just you're going to use something like a sum from a column, aggregating those values, and then we came with you need to sum this column, but the relationship must be from the other side. Also brings two filters. Also, you need to omit or erase these values or omit these values. And also, when you create the dashboard, when you select this slicer, that measure or that calculus must be behaved differently, and also
Correct.
became a ratio. So, from the outside the perspective, you think that it's easy, but when
Correct.
you understand the logic behind it and the logic the business requires, it became sometimes in HR in Olive in Spain in a finca they say engineer or BBC creating tubes for the engineer side. The logic and the business knowledge is the most important.
Agree. And also, I believe that data is also a factor that plays a vital role when we are working with these kind of industries, whether it's a farming industry or a plant, right? So, when dealing with the messy real world data, when you are working with a firm, so what is your go-to process to turning those chaos into the clarity? Because we have a messy data, right? So, how you convert that chaos to clarity?
Well, working with Excel is my everyday still right now because most of the client has, the mix of the databases, Excel, CSV files, and I say that in front from a joke perspective, the Excel is like a jungle. Welcome to the jungle from Guns N' Roses, because Excel has everything, you know, and right now I also use the same pattern from the BI, from department or a big company. From the Excel file, I need to scan the table. I need to understand the relationship. I need to talk with the people, to the person who's behind, or the author, or maybe the last person, that maybe keep the file and the other people that that are not right now in the company. So it's a mix from using AI, talking with the people, reading and creating a briefing and say, okay, this column or this table has a lot of blanks, a lot of dates without any hesitate, any difference. Why? That's the real question. Why?
Right.
I know that at the time, I know this is blank. I know everything, but why?
Correct. And you just shared this thing, like managing the data is tough, and also like nowadays everyone is talking about AI, that you can go through AI driven analytics in order to work with semantic models. So what, in your opinion, like how will semantic model evolve in the next age of AI driven analytics? Do you see that it will help the developers, or how it will go?
Right now, we are in a pivotal time because the AI and the agents can not also understand your question or your doubt, but
Mhm.
also can create a solution or hypothetical solution for
Right.
that problem. Right now, Microsoft recently shared the MCP server,
Mhm.
Model Context Protocol server for semantic models in Power BI. So you can also, I mean, right now you can create a question in natural language like multiply quantity times sales, and the result tell me if they filter everything okay within the rows from the product tables. But also, if you have a problem like this record is repeating, why is repeating? So the agent can read that question, why this record is repeating. So maybe
Correct.
the AI agent says, look, this table doesn't have a relationship. I'm going to create a relationship to the filter path to one table to another, and the records will show you the right way. So you don't have to to use your mouse, use the user interface, create that relationship physically. So the agent will do it for yourself. And this is a real shift in the development side. The pros or the people, do everything. Do your
To
they
get the results and all.
everyday work is create and the
Yes.
biggest organization is productivity. So right now the AI is changing a lot of the natural flow over the years.
I think it's the right time for everyone like who are not using AI nowadays. Like they can start exploring it because we all know that in the future, like we have to work with it. We have to deal with the challenges if there are people like who are not aware of the AI agents and all. They might face the issue, so it's better to start early.
Yes, I really approach it. I like that approach.
Okay, so now we will talk about your contribution in different roles, right? Like you have worked as a consultant, modeler, expert, modeling expert, and also as a teacher and a problem solving expert. So in your life, what you think, like what part of your work brings you the most satisfaction? Is it the consultancy, modeling, problem solving, or teaching? Which is close to your heart?
Right now, the teaching side is really pleasing to me. I mean, when you look back 10 years of experience, downsides, the upper sides, you teach with a more confident word in Spanish, or maybe not in English so good, but I try to do my best. But teaching is giving or try to erase, to omit the thing that you know that the people or the person doesn't need to know right now. They need to know the fundamentals. They need to know how to express their thoughts, how to create an hypothesis, how to talk with people, problem solving. So teaching right now is my heart right now. But I know that if I get always with teaching, I lost, the feeling that I'm in the jungle, like the cell files on the database side. So I still get satisfaction from consulting, problem solving. I need this calcul or calculus. I need to try to understand why it doesn't behave like I need to know. So maybe that's the situation right now.
Yeah, I think that is the reason like why people who work around you, students who learn from you, they always appreciate your teaching skills because they know that yes, he's the right person to guide you and to help you to pursue your journey. So it's and also the way you are contributing through the videos, blogs, and all the material that you post over the internet. So that is also helping a lot the students and the community. So keep going with that thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So now moving ahead, like we talk about your expertise, the technical contributions. Now let's talk a bit about your personal life because, like we all know that somewhere we all recognized by the titles and the achievements and the designation, right? But there are some part of our journey that no one ever asked about, but it highly impacted our journey. So in your life, like what's that one part of your journey that you think that yes, this is something that no one ever asked about, but it really had impacted your journey a lot?
Well, I mean, Uh, the thing you need to know when you started and the things not going too well, maybe you put a lot of effort, you put a lot of time to try to your best to understand something, and it doesn't give you anything in return. Maybe as economical thing, maybe as a new opportunity to, start a new job. But and I write that here yesterday. You need to keep without any hesitation. You need don't look back in anger like the Oasis song. Just keep your focus in the present and the future. The past is yesterday, so you need to keep practicing. You need to keep with a mind that every day you need to try a little bit, and 1% or 0.5% better than yesterday. And every step is part of the journey. Every step is
Yes.
a common, maybe the way that you create your own path. In my experience, is that I never worked before with a great company. I am still a freelance almost 10 years after I beginning. So my path is, if I don't wake up, if I don't create my videos, if I don't write, if I don't trade well or get results for my customers, I don't have any job. So you need to be very very hard with your mind. No, the real the most problem the most problem part right now for me is my mind.
Mind. Yes. Okay, so we all know that people always look towards you as a mentor, and they seek your guidance, and they always follow your journey as well, because it's quite inspiring. But I just wanted to know, like, for you, who were those key people around you who helped you in your journey as a mentor or a guide? So who were those people?
Look, 10 years ago, 8 or 9 years ago, there are two people I know very well in person. I don't know that they're in person, but Ruth Pozuelo, she's from Spain, but I think she lives in Norway or maybe on the Nordic country.
Okay.
And in that time, in 2016, 17, or 18, I don't really remember. I saw all his videos. I mean, she was amazing, and still he's amazing professional. Also a Microsoft MVP, and Ruth became for me the way to go to try to understand the Dutch language. And after I wrote the book from Rules of Ferrari, the Bible, or the great authors from that language. But Ruth for me in the beginning was my way to go, the person that I started to understand that a language can be from a beginning or newbie perspective, so can become more easy to understand. And
Mm-hmm.
also Gil Ravid is also Microsoft MVP. He has a blog called Data Chant, author from Pearson also. And the first time I saw YouTube video from him making a demo from analytical connecting Power Query from an API from Facebook Analytics. And that video for me, then 1 hour and half an hour, for me was the point of view that changed my life, because a technical demo, a technical video, I saw the light. I see I can do that. I understand the Gil Rabbit side of how he create a demo from the
Correct.
API, from the Facebook analytics. And I mean, come on. For me, it was really impressive. They are in that part of my beginning, the two people that remember that became to learn that. Uh,
Yeah. Okay,
okay.
I think there was some interruption, but I think we are good now. So yeah, moving ahead. Let's talk bit because uh, Jose, there are so many things that we can discuss here with expert like yourself who can share so many things about Power BI and Microsoft MVB related things. But we are short on time, so I just want to take my last question, and this question is related to the place from where you belong, because you come from you come from Venezuela, right? So if you could share one thing about your country with the rest of the world, that something you believe that yes, this is something that everyone should know about and should appreciate about this country, Venezuela. So what would it be?
Well, that's a really tough question, really, really hard to express because this country has a lot of years with a bad situation, economical situation, political situation, but I try to remember that the people here develop an impressive resiliences, like living in a challenging environment, pushes through to be more creative, more practical, solution thinker. And every day that technology needs that, you need to be
Yes.
more adaptative, and that the ability to adapt to be resourceful with the things or the budget you have is something like it's really, really a good side from the personal perspective you kind of appreciate. So if you think about it, uh, trying to search talent from Venezuela without all this ecosystem, without all these problems, it's a really interesting way to see the people who live here and the professional side, data analytics, databases, AI, and everything.
Okay. All right. So yeah, thank you so much, Jose, for joining us today in this episode and for sharing your expertise with everyone. I'm sure, like those who are watching this episode, they will learn a lot from your journey and from your expertise. So thank you once again for being a part of the show.
Uh, Thank you, thank you to you. I mean, it's what I really, a really pleasure to be here in your podcast.
Thank you.